What's up, you Chadpoles, and welcome back to the pond, where today we are going to be doing something super fun. We've come to WRVR, Wasteland Radio, Very Radios? I don't know, but that doesn't matter. We've come here to do something revolutionary. Now, this might be a very common scene in Fallout, but the impact this show has had is not. So I thought, let's blow some minds. That's right, on tonight's very special presentation of WRVR, we are sitting down with the actors of the Fallout TV show, The Ghoul, Lucy McLean, and Maximus. Lucy McLean. It is absolutely wonderful to get to meet you. Thank you so much for coming into the studio.
Oh, thank you, Brainfrog. I've never been on the airwaves before. It's really nice to see that we're making headway in the world.
Well, after what you've done this season, I'm sure that a little bit of radio time is going to be a breeze. So why don't we start at the beginning? Why don't you introduce yourself for us, please?
Sure thing. Hi, listeners. Lucy McLean, also known in these parts of the ruins as just plain and simple Miss L.
I think everybody wants to know one thing. Did you really sleep with your cousin in the vault?
I think a gentleman doesn't usually ask a lady such a question.
Sorry.
Okay, dokie. Yes. The answer is yes.
I'm just here to answer what the viewers want to know. And so my second part of that question is, when the Raiders infiltrated your vault, when Moldiver's crew came in and posed as your supposed husband, how was the first time you had sex with somebody who wasn't related to you? What was that experience like? And then what changed when you found out his true identity?
It's a hard thing to explain, but I found out after the fact, so it was an emotional time, and you don't always think logically, and, well, I'll leave it at that. But the point is that he used me, Brainfrog, and then when I found out, he had my father kidnapped.
So this Raider gentleman that you married and had relations with, he was what I would assume was your first kill. How did you feel about that?
Ouch. That's not a very nice thing to say, Brainfrog. He was not the first person I killed, but I'm the kind of person who, when you push me, things happen.
Okay, let's move on. I think one of the biggest factors about your experiences in the Wasteland was how different people acted than what you were used to. Now that you've spent time and you've made friends and enemies, do you still believe that the Golden Rule has a place in the Wasteland?
It's been hard out here. Things don't always turn out like you want. But yes, I still think the Golden Rule, to treat people the way you want to be treated is the best thing you can do out here in the Wasteland.
You know, a lot of the viewers would agree that there is good in the Wasteland, as seen by your castmate, Maximus here. When you met your two castmates, both Maximus and the Ghoul, what was your first opinion of both of them?
Brainfrog, to be honest. The Ghoul kind of gave me the heebie-jeebies when I first saw him. And Maximus, he's got a heart of gold, but he's in his own world sometimes. So yes, they're good people out here in the Wasteland.
I think a very startling scene for a lot of viewers was how awful the Ghoul treated you when you guys first met, with him using you as live bait, dragging you around by the neck, and then forcing you to drink bad water. But now that you're traveling with him willingly, searching for your father, who you now know nuked the city of Shady Sands, how do you think your relationship with the Ghoul will develop?
Well, he forced me to go with him, but now I have been helping him on purpose so that we can work as a team, and so we can help each other in this wasteland. And yes, he used me to be bait in Poison River and had a lot of negative interactions.
I mean, this man sold you with intentions of having your organs ripped out and then cut off your finger. Do you really think you can trust him moving forward? Which was pretty sick, by the way, if I do say so myself.
Yes, he did do those things to me, and I really didn't like that. But as I said before at the beginning of this thing, sometimes you have to look out for yourself because people can be bad to you. So yes, I am going to move forward with him.
Is there anything you want to say to each other? Do you want to apologize, perhaps, Cooper?
I think we're all just trying to survive in this post-apocalyptic world, so I don't have any hard feelings towards Cooper. But it would be nice if we could all be a little kinder to each other, don't you think?
Look, I may have been rough around the edges, but it was all in the name of survival. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, Lucy.
That's very nice of you, Coop. I have one final question, Lucy. The big reveal. The whole series came up to a defining moment, which was when you discovered that not only was your mother still alive, but she was sitting in front of you as a decaying husk, and that all this time, your father had lied to you. He was the one who nuked Shady Sands and murdered millions of people. What was going on through your head at that time?
Oh, wow. That is a heavy question, Brainfrog, but I guess it's something I should talk about. I was completely heartbroken, I think, and betrayed. I had just gone through all this pain and all this trauma, just to find out that the man I had loved and respected and trusted my whole life was the one responsible for all this death and suffering.
Horrible.
It was like the bottom had fallen out of my world. I need to gather my thoughts for a moment.
That's okay, please take the time you need, but go on when you're ready. I understand it's a very difficult thing to talk about.
Yeah, it's still hard for me to talk about. I mean, I had thought my father was a hero, you know? I thought he was a good man who had just gotten unlucky and stuck in a vault. I never thought he was the monster behind the massacre of an entire town, but I couldn't just sit there and do nothing, you know?
Now, we know you ended your mom's suffering with a shot to the chest. Your dad, he got away. When you find him, what are you going to say to him?
Honestly, I don't know. I haven't figured that part out yet. I never thought I'd be in a position where my father was the bad guy, you know? I just know I can't just let him go.
That's understandable. Well, at least you have a long time before season 2 to think about what you'll say to him the next time you see your father.
Thanks for talking to me about this.
And thank you for talking to us.
What do you want, stranger? The time's getting late, and I ain't in the mood for bullshit.
Mr. Cooper Howard, always straight to the point. It is a pleasure. I have to say, out of everyone here, I'm the most grateful that you took the time to come to this radio show and talk about your recent adventures. So thank you.
Oh, great. Another fucking interview. Just tell me what you want to know and get it over with.
Sure thing, sure thing.
And don't thank me. I ain't doing this for nothing.
Why don't you start off with a little introduction of...
Before the war, I was a damn fine actor, a husband, and a father. But then I got caught up in this whole Vault Tech shitstorm, doing their stupid ads and selling my soul to the damn company. And then the war happened, and I became a ghoul, a bounty hunter, and a survivor.
Cooper, you have survived for almost 200 years. And I think that along with everyone here, that we are super surprised that someone as old could have such great skin. So I think myself and the viewers really want to know, what's your wasteland skin routine, Coop?
Are you f***ing kidding me?
I'm sorry.
I survive in this shithole by the grace of God and a vial of antiferal chems every now and then. I don't have time to worry about a skin routine.
Okay, that was just a fun little joke. Let's get down to brass tacks, okay, Coop? I think the most heartbreaking part of your story was when you overheard your wife mention during a Vault Tech meeting that Vault Tech was planning to drop the bombs. I mean, this was your worst nightmare come to life. What was going through your head?
When I heard that, it was like I'd been gut punched. I couldn't believe it, and all I could think was that my wife, my own damn wife, was part of it all. It broke me, man. I didn't know what to do. And then when she said she wanted to put our daughter in one of those damn vaults, I knew I couldn't let that happen.
I don't blame you, Cooper. I would have done the exact same thing.
Hey, I ain't no saint, but I have a code. I don't take joy in killing, but sometimes it's necessary.
Absolutely.
And in this shitty world, doing what's necessary means keeping yourself alive.
I think one of the most frustrating things of the series was seeing those Vault Tech execs bother you again and again and again. If you would have had it your way, how would you have dealt with Vault Tech?
If I had it my way, I would have told those Vault Tech f***ers to go fuck themselves. But that's just a dream. In reality, I would have done whatever it took to protect my family and myself from their bullshit.
One of the questions that came in from the viewers is, how do you think your relationship with Lucy McLean is going to develop from here? It seems like earlier in the season she was just an ends to the meat, but now you see that this girl could really hold her own. And not only that, she has ties to a very powerful man who can get you exactly what you want. So how do you think that's going to affect your relationship in the future?
I don't give a damn about her connections or her dad. She's just a goddamn dog now. She's like CX404.
Ooh.
She's useful to have around, but I ain't doing this for her. I'm doing this for me. And when I find my family, I'll decide what to do with her then.
Very interesting. Thank you so much, Coop, coming on the show and indulging us. I have one final question before you go. Is that all right?
Yeah, I don't care.
You don't just make it 200 years in the wasteland without having some incredible stories. So if you would, please, could you recount for us an incredible story from your past?
I'll tell you one story, but you gotta promise me something. You gotta promise me that you won't tell nobody.
Okay, yeah, sure thing. Cut the mics. All right, I promise. Go ahead.
I lied.
I once had a job out in the wastes, but I didn't want to just waste him. I wanted to bring him in and I wanted to get paid. But he had some real mean-looking guards, and I could tell they were itching for a fight. So I came up with a plan. I went to a bar, got drunk, and started talking loud about how I had a fortune in pre-war money.
Pre-war money? That's genius.
It wasn't long before those goons of his came in looking to claim their cut. I gave them a few bruises and took a few of my own, but I let them walk out of there with most of the money. Then I followed him, and when I got to that camp, I wasn't the only one following him.
Oh boy, were there other bounty hunters?
No, there was a bigger threat than bounty hunters. I followed them right into the jaws of a deathclaw.
Oh, fuck.
I made a deal with that beast. I gave him that money, and he gave me that bounty. And that's how I learned that sometimes you gotta be willing to take a hit to make a profit.
Wait. So you're telling me that you gave a stash of pre-war money to a Deathclaw so that it would leave the bounty alone for you to take home? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, I gave that Deathclaw all the money.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
And in return, it didn't kill me, and I got that bounty.
Wow.
It was the smartest thing I ever did in my life. I hope you're all writing this down, because that's the kind of cowboy you ain't heard about in the wasteland.
You're goddamn right. That is not the kind of cowboy we hear about. You really live up to your reputation, Coop, or should I call you Mr. Cool? Thank you so much for coming on the show. I appreciate it. And last but certainly not least, Squire Maximus. Now actually a knight, if I'm not mistaken. Welcome onto the program. I'm so happy you could have joined us. Maximus, please introduce yourself to the viewers.
I am Maximus, a knight in the Brotherhood of Steel, and I am honored to join this program. The Brotherhood of Steel is committed to bringing law and order to this chaotic place, and I am proud to be a part of it.
Maximus, if I do say so myself, you are a crowd favorite. You're a man who sticks to his guns, maybe a little selfish at times, but in this wasteland, who isn't?
Yes, I strive to be the best I can be, and to help the Brotherhood of Steel succeed in its mission. But, as you mentioned, it's not always. I struggle with my own internal conflicts and fears. I seek power to shield myself from the violence and dangers of the wasteland. Sometimes, I question if I am truly capable of handling the challenges that come my way.
Power is the big term out there in the wasteland, huh? And you sure have a lot of it in that armor of yours, so let's get right down to it, okay? Let's start with Dane. Dane came out later on when you were about to be assassinated, and she admitted to injuring her own foot, which caused you to be a squire that eventually led you on this journey. Was it a surprise to you at all?
I felt a mix of shock and betrayal when Dane admitted to hurting herself. I had always considered him a close friend and never thought he would do something like that. I had grown envious of Dane's promotion and felt that it should have been me instead. I wanted to prove myself and my worth to the Brotherhood, but I never thought it would lead to something like this.
And prove yourself you did. You became a knight in your own right, but it did start off a little bit rocky. Now, the decision to let Knight Titus die was a big one, and something that surprised all the viewers. But now that it's in your past, do you think you made the right choice?
Allowing Knight Titus to die was a difficult decision, and I still have mixed feelings about it. At the time, I was desperate and frustrated with his mistreatment of me. I felt that he didn't respect me as a knight in the Brotherhood, and that he saw me as weak. But in hindsight, I know that it was a cruel and ruthless act. I took advantage of his vulnerability. That goes against the teachings of the Brotherhood.
So then why did you do it? If you know you were going against the Brotherhood, why did you let Knight Titus die and take up his armor?
I did it out of desperation. I was stranded and injured, wastes, and needed a way to continue my mission. Titus's armor would give me a significant advantage, and it felt like my only option. Time.
Difficult decisions are made all throughout the wasteland, and a very difficult decision you made was revealing your true identity to your new squire, Thaddeus, your old bully from the barracks. Now that he's become a ghoul, do you feel like you made the right decisions at that time as well?
Revealing my true identity to Thaddeus was a risky move, but I felt it was necessary at the time. He was the only person I could trust to help me, and I needed someone to confide in. I also thought that by revealing the truth, it would help us put our differences aside and work towards a common goal. However, I did not expect him to react so negatively. I regret that my past actions caused him to distrust and dislike me, and I wish I could have handled the situation differently.
Completely understandable. Well, let's move on to a couple lighter segments, okay? Let's talk about Vault 4, okay? Not only did Lucy offer having sex with you, which you cautiously denied, but you felt like you had the first real taste of the good life. Your heroism forced you to leave that behind. You go into detail about that?
Leaving Vault 4 was a difficult decision for me, as I felt like I had found a sense of belonging, that the other people were kind and welcoming, and and Lucy's offer only added to my confusion. In the end, I knew that I couldn't stay. Lucy and the others were nice, but I couldn't abandon my duty for a fleeting sense of happiness.
Now you gotta tell me, out of that gift bag, what was your favorite treat?
The popcorn was definitely my favorite treat from the gift bag. The salty, buttery flavor was a nice change from the usual bland wasteland food.
Indeed.
It was a small but welcome reminder of the simple pleasures of the old world.
That's understandable. I just want to take a quick second for a word from our sponsor, Surkov Vodka, imported from Russia. One of the only vodkas left in the wasteland. Try Surkov Vodka, highest quality that there is, only brand available in the wasteland. Get your bottle here in Diamond City today. Anyway, let's get back to our conversation here, okay? So, you leave Vault 4, you end up going back to the Brotherhood. Were you ready to be executed? You know that was what was going to happen. Were you fully ready for it, or did you have more of a plan than just saying, I know where the head truly is?
No, I was not ready to be executed. I knew that there would be consequences for my action, but I was hopeful that I would be able to find a way to make things right. I wanted to prove that I was still committed to the Brotherhood of Steel. I didn't have much more than a hope that the truth would be enough to save me.
I think we're almost out of time here, so I got one more question for you here, Maximus. The end battle occurs. You make it to the end. You kill Moldaver, but she turns on the power. The entire city lights up. Now, you're a hero for the Brotherhood of Steel. You are knighted on the spot. What comes next for young Maximus?
As the newly knighted Maximus, I will continue to serve the Brotherhood of Steel and help lead the fight against any threats to the wasteland.
Thank you so much for your time here. I greatly appreciate it, and I look forward to all the heroism the Brotherhood of Steel has to offer in the years to come. Once again, I want to say thank you so much to each and every one of you for attending today's session. I know the viewers and myself here at WRVR greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Once again, my name is Brainfrog, signing out.